Welcome back to the Rainbow Hair Files. Today I wanted to do a video that I've kind of touched on before. I did a video called How I Got My Daughter's Hair to Grow. I'll link that in the description box. But I wanted to go a little bit more into detail and kind of give you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to get my daughter's hair to grow. So yeah. So the first tip I have is not to use your nails when you're massaging or scrubbing the scalp, like when you wash your hair and stuff. I only learned this maybe, I don't know, a year ago now? It's probably been about a year now. But I had no idea that if you use your nails, it causes your scalp to become irritated and inflamed, and it slows down your hair growth. So instead, use your fingertip or your knuckles or one of these. I will try and link down below. I believe I got this off of Amazon, so if I can find it again, I'll link it down below. But I actually have no idea what it's called. It's just a head scrubber thing. And so when you go to wash your hair, you put the shampoo in, make sure it's all over where you need it to be, and then you use this and you just, in circles, I would do it, but it's gonna mess up my hair, you just, in circles, scrub everywhere to make sure that you're getting the scalp clean, because that is very important, to have a clean scalp so that your hair can grow. And also, the more you massage your scalp, it actually encourages more hair growth, just kind of massaging the scalp. I don't know the science behind it. Don't come for me. I don't know. I just know that it works, okay? Tip number 2 is to use oils when you are doing protective styles, and in general. So again, this is kind of a new one for me. I wasn't on top of using oils in my daughter's hair, in Alathea's hair, for a while. Even when I was doing protective styles or just more styles in general on my daughter's hair, it took me a little while to use the oil, and really I only started maybe like 5-6 months ago using it all the time with her hair, because she started complaining about her scalp being irritated and it like itching and stuff a lot. And so I started using oils more regularly for that, and then I kind of put 2 and 2 together as far as like, oh, I probably should have been doing this frequently anyway, because it definitely helps your scalp to be moisturized, and you're massaging again to massage the oil in, so that obviously encourages hair growth. And I say to use it for protective styles, and that's because obviously if you have braids or twists, whatever you have going on with your protective style, it's going to put some kind of pull on your hair, and so to help your hair not be so dry and brittle, you put that oil right on the scalp. It's going to help the hair not to be pulled as much, and that's going to help your hair to grow and not break, basically. But also use it just kind of in general. Just put it on the scalp, whether you're doing a wash and go, protective style, if you just got out the shower, you're not planning on doing anything, whatever the case may be, use oil. I guarantee you will notice a difference. I wish I had the mixture of oil that I use with me. I don't right now for this video. And I don't actually know what's in it, which I know is probably something you need to know. Definitely do your research on that, because I know certain people swear by different types of oils, and the stuff that I use is actually just a concoction of oils that my husband made because he used it on his hair and noticed a difference, and so then I started using it for my daughter, and it definitely seemed to help her as well. So I know some people really love castor oil, some people just use coconut oil. Do your research, find out what works best for you, but definitely invest in some oils. So kind of tying in that last point, protective styles are at least for us, a must-have, and something that I have realized really, really work to help Alathea's hair grow. I know some people are like, no, don't do protective styles because it pulls on the hair too much, which I feel like as long as you do it properly and, you know, use the oils and stuff, it's not going to be that bad. Some people swear by doing low manipulation hairstyles or just wash and goes. I think that probably depends on your hair type and the type of styles that you prefer, and how much time and work you're willing to put into your hair. And I think I touched on this in the video that I mentioned before. If you were going to do wash and goes, because I think protective styles and wash and goes both kind of work, it just depends on different things. Because for a wash and go, you're going to have to wash your hair more often, and do low manipulation hairstyles to keep your hair fresh and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so you're probably going to have to wash your hair twice a week, once a week. Like, you know, you're going to have to wash it way more often, whereas if you are doing a protective style, you're not going to have to wash it that often, you're not going to have to style it that often. You can do the protective style, leave it in for however long. You know, you can refresh the style by doing different stuff. So it definitely depends on how much work you're wanting to put in, but as long as you are doing things to keep your scalp clean and your hair moisturized, regardless of, you know, protective styles or wash and go, I think you'll be okay. But for us, I feel like the protective styles worked because I think honestly it was probably because before that, the only styles I would do on my daughter's hair, I wasn't doing them properly. One, I would try and style her hair when it was dry rather than when it was wet. Two, I wasn't using the proper products. Three, I wasn't using the products I had properly. And so I think those combined, once I started learning to do things the right way and use things the right way, I also started doing the protective styles. But once I started doing those protective styles and using everything properly, I realized like a big difference in her hair and how fast it was growing, all that kind of stuff. I really hope that made sense. I feel like I rambled for that point. So something that I guess I kind of just touched on in the previous point, my tip number 4 is to only style and detangle when the hair is wet. Now I feel like a lot of people probably already know this and they're like, oh well duh. But this is something that I didn't know. I had no idea that you're only supposed to, or it's better to only detangle and style when the hair is wet. The reason for that is when your hair is dry, you're not going to be able to get the tangles out as easily, so you're going to be ripping the hair out. Now, I didn't even realize, I thought that it was just, you know, a normal amount of hair that was coming out when I'd be combing my daughter's hair, when I used to do it, like, dry or maybe just with oil or something. So then when I started to detangle her hair when it was wet, like, now our routine is I will wash her hair, or if she's been wearing her hair down, I will just put water in her hair if it's not wash day for us. But either way, her hair will be wet. I will put the leave-in conditioner in her hair, and I'll detangle with the leave-in conditioner while her hair is wet. The amount of hair that used to come out of the brush, or come off of the brush, I guess, when her hair was dry, compared to now when I do it when her hair is wet, is insane. Like, there's so much less damage, there's so much less pulling, I'm not ripping out her hair anymore. I honestly, looking back, I feel so bad because her hair was not growing for the longest time and I had no idea why. Now I know why. It was my fault because I didn't know better. So that's, yeah, that's definitely a big thing. Only do it when it's wet. You'll definitely notice a difference. And not only when the hair is wet, you also need to make sure you are using a moisturizer, whether it is a leave-in conditioner or just a regular conditioner, something that is going to nourish and moisturize the hair and keep it from pulling when you're combing. I don't know why I'm signing and not being able to remember the word. Like, what is this? Yeah, I know a lot of people will, while they are actually in the shower washing their hair, they'll do the shampoo and then they'll put the conditioner in and they'll detangle while the conditioner is in their hair. The only reason I do not do that with Alathea is because she really doesn't love having her hair washed. It's never been something that she's loved. And so I try to get that out of the way as fast as possible. And then when she's out of the shower and she's more comfortable and stuff, I can use the leave-in conditioner. And I mean, it does the same thing as long as it's something that is going to keep the hair soft so that when you're detangling, you're not pulling and ripping the hair out. So yeah, I will put some video clips right here of the 2 leave-in conditioners that we use most often. We have a As I Am leave-in conditioner and then a Curly Kids leave-in conditioner. So my last tip is just to leave your hair be and be patient. So many people talk about, oh, you have to get your hair cut so often and you have to do this, that, and the other, and you know, like do all of this different stuff. When in reality, as long as you are taking care of your hair, taking care of your scalp, keeping everything healthy and clean and moisturized, you don't have to do a bunch of stuff. Now, obviously, my daughter is 5. She's never had a haircut. We've never dyed her hair. I have straightened it one time, but I used so much product as far as heat protectant that there was no damage to her hair. I've never blow dried her hair. Like, she doesn't have any damage, and so there's no need for me to ever cut her hair or anything right now because I'm not getting rid of any damage from it. I will say, if you have any kind of damage to your hair, yes, get it trimmed ever so often if you don't want to do a big chop, if you have to do a big chop. But I mean, if you have cut all of your hair to the healthy hair, so you've gotten rid of the permed hair or the overly straightened hair or the whatever damage that you've done to your hair over the years, the colored hair, all that kind of stuff, if you have cut to the healthy, new, natural, fresh hair that you have, as long as you are moisturizing properly and using the products that are going to work in your hair and doing everything to keep your hair healthy, you shouldn't have to trim it at all. I know some people swear by that. They're like, oh no, heck, you know, get it cut every 6 weeks or something. I don't do that. I don't do that for her, and both of our hair grows absolutely fine without it. So I would say that's actually not necessary as long as you keep your hair healthy. So yeah, just leave it be and be patient, and I promise your hair will grow even if it feels like it is not growing, even if it feels like it's never going to grow. But you know, patience. Patience is key when it comes to growing hair, especially if you're growing curly hair and natural hair, because your hair is going to seem shorter than it actually is because obviously the shrinkage. I promise it is growing. It will continue to grow as long as you keep everything healthy. I really hope this video makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I sit down in front of these camera and even if I have, like I have notes, and even if I have a list of things that I'm going to talk about and notes I'm going to talk about, I feel like I ramble so much, and then I get to editing and I could have recorded for like 20 minutes and I get it down to like 5, and because everything else was just rambles and ums and uhs. So I really hope this video made sense. I hope that these tips and tricks work for you and that you find them useful. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Come, lean in more. Bye.